What's up, everybody? So it's been a while since I've done a video. It's been super hot in Florida, and I got a little piece of San Mai billet in the forge, and I figured why not do a video on it. I've already got it tack welded together. It's in the forge heating up for the first actually welding heat. I'm waiting on a bunch of steel and abrasives and all that stuff, so I'm pretty much down to nothing left in the shop but scrap material. So what I've got is some just scrap flat bar. Give me a second. It was like this, but it was longer or whatever. And I'm going through all my junk, and I've got a bunch of mower blades that people always give me, and I don't really ever use them for like bottle openers and stuff. But I have a piece that I know is hardenable, and I figured let's throw a little junk San Mai billet together and see what we can get out of it. So we got mild steel jacketing and about a 1/4 inch thick piece of mower blade, which is like 1080-ish, something like that. Not super hard material, but it does, you can oil quench it. So we're gonna see what we can get out of it. A little bit of junk San Mai. So hang out. Probably should have stuck a little work peg on there, but oh well. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, I definitely should have done a work peg, but oh well. Okay, so I've done three little light tap welding heats, and it's starting to feel a little bit solid. So I'm going to start getting a little bit more aggressive with it. I should have put a work peg on it, because now I'm having to hold it awkward and having to flip it, and you know, it's not really, I'm not being able to get a full length of the billet hammers on it or whatever. So, but it'll be all right. Like I said, it's a piece of lawnmower blade, or I think it's actually like a bush hog blade or whatever, and just some mild steel cladding. Fairly simple weld or whatever. It's just some junk San Mai threw together because I'm waiting on a bunch of materials and stuff like that. So anyway, when all of it gets here, we'll have cool stuff coming. But for right now, we get to do, I guess it's cool stuff, just what we got in the junk bucket, you know, see what we can make out of it. But I'm about to start getting a little bit more aggressive with it. It's starting to feel solid. I'm gonna keep it clean and start watching and for the edges, because right now my 3 layers are all about the same color throughout the heat. So I'm not so much worried about it, you know, wanting to not be one piece yet, because it's feeling solid, everything's looking the same. I'm watching it in the forge, it's all heating up the same. It's not really acting as 3 different pieces of material, it's acting as one. So we'll start getting a little bit more aggressive with it. Once I get it where I'm comfortable with being able to move it around, I'll take the straight peen or the cross peen or whatever, depending on what design we're gonna go with, which I have no idea yet. So I'm gonna get on that and let that take another heat. Okay, so what I've come up with is a little drop point hunter with a basic guard. I'm gonna do a hidden tang, but what I think I'm gonna do on this one, which is gonna be practice for a future project, is do a framed handle, meaning I have a piece of material running down the center with a notch that fits snug over the tang, and then 2 handle scales, almost like making a full tang, but with a piece of handle material around it. So that's what I'm gonna go for. The proportions on this are a little bit weird. I'm probably gonna lengthen the handle a little bit and then lengthen the blade to keep it even and nice looking and stuff, and thinking about bringing the guard out just a little bit more and maybe a little bit thicker, because the material I got is 1/4 inch. I think this measures something around that area. But so that's what we're gonna go for. Okay, so we got it cleaned up. Forge welds took beautifully, cut the ends of it off. Well, I ground the ends of it off because there wasn't very much overlap. But nice and solid. I got my pattern drawn up. So since it's San Mai, I'm going to draw it out to a little bit proud of what I want the thickness to be, because I'd like the ricasso to be a little bit thicker than the tang and all that good stuff anyway. But I'm gonna draw it out to a little bit thicker than I want the final dimensions of the knife to be, so I can grind in some good deep bevels to expose that core material, and I don't want my core to get too thin because the majority of the knife, or 2/3 of the knife, is mild steel. So I'm gonna get it a little bit closer to length and stuff like that. Forge it down just a little bit thinner because right now it's about 3/8 thick. So get that down, do stock removal from there so I don't distort the pattern forging in a tip or anything like that, or run the risk of, you know, popping the layers apart. So we're gonna get it back in the fire and make it a knife. So how I'm forging this billet out is, say, here's your billet. I'm forging either side, working my way down half, you know, overlapping half the hammer each time to work it all the way down and flipping it and doing it again. That way I'm kind of working my way down, making sure my thicknesses and stuff are even. And because it's San Mai, I want to make sure my core material stays in the center. The mild steel on the outside is going to be softer under the hammer, so I'm not so much worried about mushing it and moving it around. I just want my core to stay thinner. The core material was a little bit thicker to start with anyway, so I'm not so much worried about completely forging it to the point where I can't get to it, but I still want to make sure my core material is running down the center of the blade. So now I'm going to go down it with a straight peen to kind of break up that line. I'm sure it's not perfectly straight, just give it a little bit more character, I guess. Did a quick little dip in the acid. Core material is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Even on the spine. Absolutely perfect. So I'm very happy with that. And it's nice and thick still. So I'm gonna clean up the profile just a little bit more and get some bevels struck in, get ready for heat treat. I'm gonna do a bunch of normalizing. I'm gonna do probably 5 or 6 normalizing cycles just to make sure everything is good and that we don't have any issues. But very happy with that. Okay, so we're off the grinder. I got it profiled, got it cleaned up, got a lot of the forge scale knocked off of it. I'm about to stamp the maker's mark and go for a heat treat. Actually, I'm gonna do a maker's mark and then I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 thermal cycles, you know, getting cooler and cooler as we go. It's annealed right now, so I want to try to refine that grain down a little bit. I've ground to the hardenable steel in the core and got it fairly even. It's still a little on the thick side, but it'll be okay. Once I grind in, I'm going to grind in a pretty good distal taper on it. So that's where we're at. Okay, so we're out of the quench. Everything went good, no delams. Martensite on this thing is crazy. I've never seen, it's probably just the mild steel, but kind of weird to skate a file on it because I ground to the hardenable edge, but it catches some a little bit. But flattening the file out, it skates pretty good. So I'd say it was successful. So we'll get it grinded up and finished up profiling and finish it up probably tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day. We're out of the temper. See that core material in there a little bit. So I'm gonna do a little bit of grinding, kind of clean everything up, center it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna start working on the handle material. I'm not going to mess with the tang too much. Like I said, I'm probably just gonna make the frame, shape the handle and stuff to the frame, make sure the thicknesses and all that stuff are, you know, good, so we got a good fit up. But it's gonna have a guard on it, so I'm not necessarily worried about it being tight up against here, you know, the ricasso area, because the guard is gonna be a tight fit up to that. So I won't have to worry about it that much. I just wanna make sure that it's centered in line with the spine of the knife and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're gonna work on now. Okay, so I got all my pieces ready. My centerpiece, scales, and then I got some black G10 liner. I got them all scuffed up, so I'm gonna assemble it kind of along these lines. And just kind of get them roughly as, you know, close as possible. And then once it's glued up in one piece, then I'm going to probably put a template on it so I don't cut into the center, because I'm not gonna be able to see it. Right, guys, so that's it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I've been trying to get some better lighting and stuff in here to do more filming for YouTube projects. But the goal is, you know, to kind of focus a little bit more on YouTube, try to get the subscriber numbers up, do some more projects like this, maybe a few like build along stuff like that, and do some stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed, if you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you do that. I'm trying to get the channel to grow a little bit. I need to focus more on doing the channel, get more content and stuff like that up and post more often, but that's what we were able to come up with based off of the Loveless design, drop point hunter. So I dig it. I got the handle material from AAO Customs. Angie Olson, she's an awesome person. She hooked me up with this slab of stuff. I kind of had an idea and she made it work. Everything else, belts and stuff like that, I get from Pop's Knife Supply. I don't know if you guys are wanting to get into the hobby or whatever, drop me a comment or a message or whatever and I'll let you know where I get my stuff and some places you can get, you know, stuff like that from. But anyway, thanks y'all.